We've been raising money for quite some time for the retrofit. It's a $3.1 million project, and it is going to be completely invisible to the eye. At the end of the event, will just look like the same. We've been raising money from foundations and private citizens, special events, pretty much anywhere we can find the money, we're trying to get it. We're within 97% of goal. We have about $93,000 left to raise. And if we do raise some additional funds, our hope is to use that money for cosmetic improvements inside the church. The retrofit of the historic church is the first phase of the retrofit project we need to do for the entire property. We do have other original adobe buildings that do need retrofitting. We're hoping to take a break in between the retrofit of the church and then focus on the retrofit of the other buildings. We do need to meet the state and federal guidelines for retrofitting.
My name is Eric Logan, and I'm with ARG Conservation Services. We're out of San Francisco, and we specialize in the conservation of historic buildings, both the actual construction as well as management of projects. And in this case, I'm the project manager for the seismic retrofit of the mission. In this case, the actual retrofit of this church is to peel away the roof and pour a concrete bond beam that will go across the top of the actual adobe walls. And in addition to that, there is steel trusses that will be put in certain areas. And all of this will be tied in through coring and bolts that will go actually into the adobe wall. And once that is all done, the roof gets a diaphragm which will basically hold all of it together in the case of an earthquake. And so it's actually fairly basic, even though it's on a big scale. That's what this retrofit involves. The building needs to be seismically retrofitted because you have basically 5.5 thick adobe dirt walls that are unreinforced. That I think the height of the church is somewhere around 50 feet or 45 feet. In the case of any sort of seismic activity, the building is quite possibly could fall in, and as a life safety precaution, it has to be seismically retrofitted to withstand a certain amount of seismic activity. And so that's where we're at this point. In this case, the actual seismic retrofit is going to be the installation or the pouring of a concrete bond beam that will go completely around the actual top of the adobe walls. In order for this to happen, they have to remove the roof and do demolition of some of the adobe on the roof of the actual walls to be able to pour the concrete bond beam. In addition to the concrete bond beam, there are structural steel trusses that will be installed in certain areas. And then once all of that is done, there will be a diaphragm, which is basically a roof decking that will go across all of the roof that will hold the whole thing together as one unit in the case that it goes like this. In addition to the concrete bond beam, there's coring and doweling that will actually attach the concrete bond beam to the adobe walls. And the whole duration of the whole project is, at this point, we're thinking maybe 9 months, and if anything that would be conservative, it's going to be shorter than that. The church will not look at all any different. You won't even know anything ever happened. It's all hidden. It's hidden in the roof, in the attic, and in the walls themselves.
We have the retrofit of the historic church first, and we're hoping to have that done by January 1st of 2013. And then our hope is to take a break in between that retrofit and the retrofit we need to do of the other buildings. We also need time to fundraise to fund the other buildings, but it's really anybody's guess on how long it will take us to retrofit the entire property. The Historic Mission Church is so important to the community. Many people forget that it's here, but it is part of the fabric of the entire heritage of North County. We helped establish the entire economy and social structure in the North County, and it's important to preserve and restore these buildings, as well as it's still part of the community. We have events throughout the year. Dia de los Muertos is held every October. We have about 25 to 30,000 people who come to that. We have our annual Heritage Ball, which has about 400 to 500 people. And those are the people who help support and fundraise for the mission. We also have the Feast of St. Francis, where we do the blessing of the animals. We do many outreach community events where people can come enjoy the property and learn about the history of the mission as well as the friars. On an annual basis, we have many people visit our museum, and that is the easiest place for us to track guests. We have anywhere between 10 and 20,000 fourth graders who come visit the mission on their fourth grade tours. The California Mission history is part of their curriculum, and we're happy to support that. We also have people who come from around the world. Many Europeans come visit our property, many people from other states. It's really hard for me to talk off the top of my head, but I know it's within the tens of thousands of people that come visit through our museum every year. The historic mission really is a jewel of North County, and we're really hoping to have more events and really involve the community more into our property. We have 56 acres, and it's easy to forget that we're here because we're not downtown Oceanside, but we're only 4 miles away from downtown, and we're really trying to increase our presence within the community so people remember that we are here and come celebrate us. Old Mission San Luis Rey is privately owned and operated by the Franciscan Friars based out of Oakland, California, and it's called the Santa Barbara Province of Friars. And we're completely self-supporting. We receive no funds from the church. Many people think that we receive the collections from the Sunday Mass to help run our operations. We do not. We're completely self-supporting with our own efforts of our retreat center, our cemetery, and our gift shop. We also don't receive any supporting funds from the state or federal government. Once in a while we do qualify for a grant to preserve our historic buildings from the state and federal government, but they do not give us funds to run our property. The retrofit fundings come from several sources. It's come from the National Parks did a grant for Save America's Treasure with $650,000, and it was a matching grant which we matched. And we need to use that money by October, so that is why we had the deadline of trying to get the retrofit done immediately. We've also raised the bulk of the other money from private foundations as well as some other grants. Our staff and board of directors are led by our executive director, which is Father David Gaw. He's been a great leader in trying to raise the money for the retrofit, as well as a committee of volunteers headed up by Gigi Gleason, who are our capital campaign committee. We're also working with a capital campaign company, giving us direction on how to best pursue grants and foundations. So fortunately, we're very close to our goal. We're very excited about that. This year, the Heritage Ball Committee is raising funds to help restore the historic courtyard next to the west side of the historic church. It is original to the old mission. There are 3 historic fountains that are part of that courtyard, and we need to raise money to restore those fountains so they'll work. They're leaking right now, as well as fix the drainage problem within the courtyard so we can better protect and restore the adobe walls of the church as well as the office building next to it. Part of the goal is also to level the floor of this courtyard so it's easier to walk on. So we're hoping to do that in conjunction with the retrofit so that when the retrofit's complete, we'll also have the courtyard completely restored and reopened for the public to use. We've been very fortunate with the support of the community. We've had a very involved capital campaign committee that's helping us raise funds for the retrofit, as well as Father David Gaw. Therefore, the staff really hasn't been too taxed with the fundraising process, and we're very blessed in that way. We have many people who donate to different aspects of the mission. Some people donate to preserving the historic building. Some people donate to helping us support the fourth grade tours, the gardens, and we welcome people to donate to whatever calls to them. You can donate on our website, or you can also call our main phone number at 760-757-3651, extension 161.